After each season, we always see rookies elevate their game going into their sophomore seasons, and I think that there are a few players in the 2022 NBA draft class that are going to have great improvements going into this upcoming NBA season. I think there's a lot of players that you got to be on the lookout for, and in this video, I'm going to give you 5 players who I think you guys need to watch that are going to perform very, very well with their new positions and expectations going into the season. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into it. Number 1, I have Jabari Smith Jr. from the Houston Rockets. Now, Jabari's rookie season wasn't too great, and he'll tell you that himself. He struggled finding his jump shot, and due to his inability to find his jump shot early on in his rookie season, the Rockets struggled, and ultimately, Jabari struggled as well, trying to find his rhythm in the NBA. But ultimately, in his second half of the season, when Jabari was able to hit the jump shot more effectively, the Rockets saw more improvement, and Jabari's game expanded and became much of a player that we knew he could be coming in as a number 3 overall pick in the NBA. Now, coming into this upcoming season, we have a coach in Ime Udoka who has been able to work with a lot of young talent in the NBA, such as Kawhi Leonard, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and you now see a player in Jabari Smith Jr. who has some of the same type of two-way skill sets, active on defense and active on offense, a player who can also work in different areas on the court. I'm excited to see how Ime Udoka can incorporate Jabari Smith Jr.'s game as a catch-and-shoot three-point shooter, a player who can use the post to turn around fades on smaller players, and also as a cutter getting to the basket. The players that the Rockets added in this offseason as well, and Fred VanVleet, who's a very, very good playmaker to put players in their spots to succeed, and Dillon Brooks, who can be a mentor to Jabari Smith Jr. to help him on the defensive end as a player who has been a defensive team member in seasons before. I like Jabari Smith Jr. I think a lot of people find him as a joke of many means due to the fact that he didn't have a great rookie season. But when you look at how old he is at only 19 years old, going to turn 20 soon, I think that this upcoming season, with a new coach and a lot better talent around him, Jabari Smith Jr. will thrive in that setting and will see his improvement on a bigger scale. At number 2, I have AJ Griffin from the Atlanta Hawks. Now, this is a very underrated player that many people may not know about due to the fact that he didn't play as many games as many other rookies in the season last year and didn't get as many minutes as those same players as well. But with a player that just turned 20, he seems to be one of the best young connective players when he's on the court. He's efficient in his opportunities. When I say efficient, he's one of the better efficient young players when he's playing on the court. And when you look at him play, he doesn't do too much, but he knows his role and does that to a T. When it comes to his three-point shooting ability, it's borderline elite, and with more attempts, he could be one of the better three-point shooters in the game if that same percentages still stay viable to his attempts. He has still a lot of work to do as a scorer. Isn't someone that I expect to be able to drop 25 points per game on a nightly basis. But when you look at what he's able to do for the Atlanta Hawks, what he could possibly do this upcoming season as a player on the wing, he can defend, he can shoot the 3-ball, can pass, and a player that is super efficient when the ball is in his hands. That's a player that will succeed in today's game, and I think that when you look at the Atlanta Hawks play this year, be on the lookout for AJ Griffin and possibly his leap as a player that can also improve in different areas as well. At number 3, I have Jaylen Duren from the Detroit Pistons. Now, Jaylen Duren is one of my favorite young players to watch at the center position in the game right now. You look at how he played last season, there's a lot of room to be excited for with how he can play this upcoming season alongside Cade Cunningham, who is now back in the lineup, and Jaden Ivey, who is on the lineup as well. When you look at his game, he's a young big man with the prototypical skill set in today's game. Everything you want from a big man in today's game, Jaylen Duren has the ability to do that, and I think that with over time, he's going to be a player that can do that at a very, very high level and borderline elite level if everything comes into fruition as we've seen him play in a rookie season. He finishes his food around the rim, he can clean the glass, and is an active screener and passer for his position. And I really want to say he's a very, very good passer in that short roll, which he can really do some damage with the right players around him who can shoot the 3-ball. He's a very, very athletic player, super athletic. He reminds me of a young Dwight Howard with his body type. He can jump out the gym, can clean the glass, can rebound, and I think that his ability to finish everything around the rim is important due to the fact that when he's able to roll off those screens, due to him catching lobs, either catching dump-off passes, he's able to make the most out of those passes and still get to the basket and score. Due to his rookie season, with the Pistons trading for James Wiseman, those double big lineups with Wiseman and Duren weren't the best lineups, and you didn't see the best capabilities of his skill set in the game when that happened. But when you look into the season, like I said before, with Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham, who is one of the better young guards in the game right now, especially as a playmaker, I'm expecting to see a lot of great sights of what those two guys can do in the pick and roll. With good spacing in the pick and roll actions with Ivey and Cunningham, Duren will be a player that we have to watch this season on the offensive end and of course on the defensive end. At number 4, I kind of have a surprise for you guys, and that's Christian Braun. I know Christian Braa didn't have a great rookie season. He didn't get as many minutes as everyone else, and obviously, he honestly didn't play as much due to the fact that the Denver Nuggets were playing their veteran players. They were a championship level caliber team and weren't relying too much on their younger players. But in the postseason, we saw the skill set of Christian Braa as a two-way active player who could defend multiple positions and also cause a lot of troubles for a lot of offensive stars with his defense that he played in the postseason. Now, going into this upcoming season, due to the fact that the Denver Nuggets lost some big pieces such as Jeff Green, losing players such as Bruce Brown, players like Christian Braa are going to have a bigger role this upcoming season. And from what I saw in the playoffs and what he can do and what his skill set allows him to do, I think Christian Braa is a player that you obviously need to look at. I don't think this is a guy that's going to turn out to be a all-star, two-way all-star immediately from day one or maybe in year 3 or year 4. But I think with his skill set, he allows the Denver Nuggets to still be a team that you have to look out for. And I think alongside Nikola Jokic, he's able to fill in his role alongside Jamal Murray and MPJ and Aaron Gordon. He's able to add some things on the defensive end that still makes the Denver Nuggets a team that you have to look out for going into this upcoming season. I think it's interesting to see how he can improve and fill in that role. And hopefully, if he can fill in that role, we'll see how he succeeds in that position with the Denver Nuggets. This is a player that I think that many people may not really care too much about. You may not either as well. But I find it interesting to see how these younger players that we don't talk about at all turn out to be really, really young studs. And I think that with those championship experience that he had last season, playing alongside a 2-time MVP, and I think that with his role that he improved on in the postseason, carrying it on into this upcoming season, I'm super excited to see how he can transition and step in for the Denver Nuggets, trying to repeat as champions. And lastly, at number 5, I have Jaylen Williams from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, I've talked a lot about Jaylen Williams before on previous videos in my channel. I think Jaylen Williams is a really, really good young player. And I think what they have in OKC with Shea, Giddey, now having Chet Holmgren and adding in J-Dub to the mix, that team is very, very special and very, very young. You saw what J-Dub did last year. Super efficient, found his role, was able to be great in his role next to SGA, but now coming into the second season, there's a little bit more pressure and expectations for OKC. Can they make that next step? Can they become a team that is consistently a top 7 team? Could they avoid the play-in? It's all going to be on the backs of SGA being a great player and, of course, Jaylen Williams stepping up and becoming a better, improved player coming into his second season, which I think he can do. We saw how great of a player he is on the defensive end, how good he can be on the offensive end and as a playmaker. And I think with Chet Holmgren now on the lineup, their defense is going to be a little bit better. And I think that with J-Dub, we saw how he played in the previous season, his efficiency being a very, very smart player with his efficiency, knowing when to take good shots, when to take bad shots, and also being a timely playmaker for this team as well. I think that a lot of what OKC wants to do this upcoming season, as much as we talk about all the talent on this team with SGA, their draft pick, so-and-so, the players that they have right now, especially one of their impressive and uprising players in J-Dub, he has to have a really, really good season. And I think he has the tool set and the skill set to do so. If you enjoyed the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Look, if you're enjoying the content on the channel, turn that post notification bell on so you never miss a video. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out my second channel, Weaver, where I post some 2K content. I might have already posted some videos by now, depending on when this video gets dropped. But if you haven't already and subscribe, go ahead and check that channel out. Enjoy this channel as well. And until next time, stay on beat.